In an age of noise, she was silence. In a world addicted to fame, she disappeared without a sound. But behind that quiet vanishing lies one of the most mysterious, imaginative, and emotional journeys in music history. Kate Bush was born on July 30th, 1958, in the quiet suburb of Bexley Heath, Kent, England. The youngest of three children, she was raised in a home where music was air and creativity was currency. Her father, a gentle doctor, played piano. Her mother, an Irish dancer, carried rhythm in her bones. Her brothers, John and Paddy, filled the house with instruments, poetry, and ideas. At age 11, Kate began writing songs that didn't sound like childhood. They sounded ancient, haunted, alive. In secret, she recorded hundreds of tracks, her piano becoming a confidant. One of those early tapes found its way to David Gilmour of Pink Floyd. What he heard stunned him. This wasn't potential, it was prophecy. He arranged a professional recording session and introduced her to EMI. She signed her first contract at 16. But EMI didn't rush her. Instead, they gave her space to study. She trained in dance and mime under Lindsay Kemp, who once taught David Bowie to move like a god. She wasn't just preparing to sing, she was becoming something entirely new. In 1978, at just 19 years old, Kate Bush released Wuthering Heights, a gothic, operatic storm of a song sung from the perspective of a ghost. It wasn't just different, it was impossible. Her soaring voice, theatrical performance, and unapologetic femininity made her the first woman in UK history to top the charts with a self-written song. The public didn't know what to make of her. She was too strange to copy, too bold to ignore. Her debut album, The Kick Inside, sold over 1 million copies. She followed it with Lionheart, Never Forever, and The Dreaming, each release stranger and deeper than the last. By the mid-1980s, she had become both a commercial and artistic force. Then came Hounds of Love, which contained what many call her masterpiece, Running Up That Hill. The song pulsed with longing and desperation, a prayer disguised as a pop track. It cemented her place in music history. But fame had never been her goal. In truth, she was uncomfortable under the lights. She refused to tour after 1979. She rarely gave interviews, and when she did, she spoke like someone half in this world, half outside it. By the early 1990s, after the release of The Red Shoes, Kate disappeared completely. Her mother passed away. The industry changed. She retreated from public life entirely. Rumors swirled, was she broken, finished? But in reality, Kate Bush had chosen something almost unheard of in modern fame, a private life. In 1998, she gave birth to her only son, Bertie, and spent the next several years quietly raising him in the English countryside. No scandals, no headlines, no music. Just motherhood, nature, and quiet. Then, in 2005, she returned with Ariel, a sprawling double album filled with themes of sunlight, birds, domesticity, and the divine. It was softer, wiser, and no less brilliant. In 2014, after 35 years off the stage, she did something no one expected. She announced a live residency called Before the Dawn. Tickets sold out in 15 minutes. When she appeared on stage, it wasn't nostalgia, it was reverence. Audiences wept. Critics declared it a resurrection. And then, as always, she stepped back into the mist. But Kate Bush wasn't done with the world. In 2022, the Netflix series Stranger Things used Running Up That Hill in a pivotal scene. Suddenly, the song exploded across the globe. Teenagers who had never heard her name streamed it by the millions. It topped charts around the world, breaking records nearly 40 years after its original release. She became the oldest female artist to reach #1 on the UK charts. She issued a simple thank you note and then faded once more into silence. Not out of arrogance, out of choice. Today, Kate Bush lives a life of extraordinary quiet. In a world that overshares, she keeps her magic private. She tends to her home, paints, writes. Maybe she still plays piano at night while no one is listening. She remains a figure of myth and mystery, not because she vanished, but because she never tried to belong. Kate Bush didn't burn out. She bloomed inward. She reminds us that some voices aren't meant to echo constantly. Some are meant to rise like a spell, linger like a dream, and then disappear, leaving you breathless. Kate Bush didn't vanish. She simply chose herself. If you enjoyed this story, please like, subscribe, and join us again as we explore the untold stories of celebrities you thought you knew.